Welcome, fellow bookworms, to Tibra's Den. My name is Whitney, and this is my husband, William. And today we are going to be doing the Newly Read Tag. This is an original tag created by Sid. I'll leave her channel linked down below. Saw it, and I really wanted to do it, and I managed to talk this guy here into doing it with me. And I even managed to get him on camera, so that's even better. I didn't expect that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So each question kind of has two components: what your partner's answer is and what your answer is. So the first one is your partner's favorite genre. And so for me, I guessed his favorite genre as fantasy, and I said mine was fantasy romance or like literary fiction. So what was your answers?
For you, I put any kind of like emotional fiction.
Which I would say literary or fantasy romance definitely has emotion.
And mine is fantasy.
All right. So we each get a point there. So I'll just mark yours over here. Mine here. Okay. All right. So then question number 2 is, what's your partner's least favorite genre? And so for him, I put either contemporary, literary, or like romantic comedies. And for me, I put like satirical or poetry.
For you, I put like science fiction because it seems like the one you like the least amount. For mine, I don't particularly like horror, realistic fiction, just fiction in general that's non historical. I don't like dramas, and I don't like no win stories, if that's a genre.
Okay, so I say you didn't get a point because science fiction is not my favorite, but I have been expanding my horizons and I found some books in sci-fi that I do actually really enjoy. For you, as far as like not liking like literary, I would say that's more realistic. So, um, and contemporary too. So not really rom com, but I'm gonna give myself a point for that because I think I got that. And then number 3 is, if your partner is reading a book, what else do they need to have with them? So for him, I put his phone because he's always playing his game. He doesn't read a whole lot nowadays, but if he was reading, I would imagine, he would be on his phone as well. A snack and a drink. For myself, I need the TV or some other background noise. Normally it's the TV though. A drink, a blanket, and the animals because they're always on my lap while I'm reading. So,
So for me, I just need a quiet, comfortable place. I will listen to music, but I don't like a lot of noise and just water. I don't need
okay.
any drinks or snacks. If I'm really into a book, I just read it. For you though, I put yeah, some kind of white noise, so TV going, radio, your phone playing a YouTube video.
Yep.
Just as long as it's like logical noise, like it's not just random sounds. Something to drink, tissues, a blanket, a recliner, a pillow, pretty much the whole 9 yards.
I say you definitely got that. I did not. So you get a point for that one. And then number 4, what is a trope that your partner loves? And so I think we both struggled with this a little bit. So they might not be like actual tropes, but we're gonna go with it. So for you, I put like a questing type trope, um, and then a good versus evil, where the good's gonna win. And for myself, I put any kind of family related trope. Like I love anything that has to do with family, or falling in love and becoming a family, found family, like anything that's family related is what I put.
So that's pretty much right for me. I like to win at the end. I mean, there could be tragedy along the way. You could lose like some of a group, like Lord of the Rings kind of thing.
Yeah.
But as long as at the end, good triumphs. And I definitely like stories that have closure. I don't like Lady and the Tiger, like open ending, pick your own ending. I don't like that at all.
Okay.
And for you, I just put like a Cinderella type. So
Yeah, she
whatever
finds her.
happens to get there at the end, it's happily ever after, essentially.
Yeah, and she found her family, so I'll definitely say we both got a point there. And then Number 5, what is a trope that your partner hates? So I put, again, not really a trope because I couldn't think, but he just hates anything like miscommunication. So like any romance where there's all that angst because they're miscommunicating or anything like that would drive him insane. So that's what I put for you. And for me, I put like I don't like I've been reading the Dresden Files and he's kind of a chauvinist, like misogynistic. I don't like that, and I don't like a lot of bluster. Like it just drives me insane. So that's what I put for my answers.
So yeah, I would say that's some of what I don't like. Um, I don't like stories that are just raw emotion without anything else happening. Mental health, I don't really like those kind of stories. No win, and like I said earlier, open ending. I don't care for. So I think you're pretty good. As far as you, I put any books that have like total absurdity, like the Pratchett,
Yeah.
or just
Well,
like
that's like
random
bluster. That's what
stuff.
I was thinking of. I
Yeah.
just couldn't think of the word. So yeah, like bluster and like what is this even?
And then stories with like wandering plot where it's just too much going on, the threads don't tie up
Yeah.
nicely, and it's just like, you
I
know.
would say that's bluster too. That's kind of what I was saying, but I just couldn't find the word. So I give us both a point for that then. Then let's see here. What is a book that greatly influenced your partner's life? So this was hard for me, especially. Um, so there's a book he bought me back when we were dating. So I put that as an answer because he really liked it enough that he gave it to me when we were dating, and that's Shogun by James
Clavel.
Clavell. And then I wasn't sure. He was kind of giving me hints on this. So I put either the Terry Goodkind, is it Sword of Truth? Is that the
Mm-hmm.
series? That series, not like a specific book because I wouldn't have a clue. Or he has a lot of R.A. Salvatore books. So I wasn't sure about that, but I was leaning more towards Terry Goodkind and that series. For me, I put the Heartland series. And then if he says Nora Roberts in general, he'll get the point. But I specifically started with Chesapeake Blue, which is part of her Chesapeake Bay saga, and Heartland, and those books started my Nora Roberts obsession. Were during I read them during a very like difficult time, and so those have a lot of importance for me. So
Well, I put for you those like goofy school books that you like.
oh yeah, all the Wayside School
Mm-hmm.
is falling down.
Yeah, because it's kind of like written from the point of view of, maybe someone that was a little autistic kind of wrote it or something where that, hey, someone kind of thinks the way I do. They get,
Yeah,
they get a comedy the way I do. And I knew Nora Roberts. I didn't write it down because I didn't know which book specifically, but yeah. So,
I'll give you that for sure.
and I knew there was some horse books, but I had no clue which ones they were.
Yeah.
As far as me, I mean, all of those did have a little bit of impact, but the main one is in my teenage years before I really started reading, my early teenage years. There was a little book fair at our school. I think it was Scholastic, and I got Salamandastron by Brian Jacques or Jacques.
Yeah.
And
I didn't
so
even think about that.
his Redwall series, and I was going through, a lot of stuff. It wasn't a couple years later, my
Yeah.
dad admitted himself for social anxiety and stuff into the hospital, and I went to a therapist and stuff. So yeah, that had a big impact. It kept me going. It helped me escape when I had
Okay.
nowhere else to go. But when I was even younger than that, something that really stuck with me was a bunch of the Ray Bradbury series. So his short stories, like the one where after like a nuclear apocalypse, the little
Yeah.
robot mice are still
Okay. Well,
running.
you get the point. I definitely don't. So, let's see here. And then for a book that you and your partner disagree on, I haven't read it. I have a block about it, I guess. So I put for both our answers Shogun because I don't know. Like I think it's because of the size of it, and he keeps telling me it's really good. I'm gonna enjoy it. And I've read big books before. I have a block about it because we don't really read a whole lot of the same stuff, and when we do read the same stuff we both like it and we agree on it, so that's why I put that book even though I haven't read it. So that was my answer for both.
Yeah. For you, I mean, that we disagree on. You had handed me a book that you DNF'd. It was that.
That Brent Weeks one.
Yeah, Brent Weeks, something about an assassin or
I'll put
something.
it. It's I think The Way of Shadows or something like that. I'll put the title here, of course.
So I read it. I mean, it didn't have like
Yeah.
good structure, but it was okay and it made sense and it tied up nicely at the end. And there's a couple other in the 3-book series. Um, as far as what I would agree with you on, there's probably a lot of books because you just read so many genres I don't like. So if you probably tried to turn me on to them, I would say no. So
Yeah. So I don't think we either one gets a point on that
yeah.
one. I mean that's a hard one to do. So, and then who reads faster? I said me. That was my answer.
I said her because she reads more than I do.
Yeah, he's not a big reader, so we both get a point there. You're winning so far, 6-5. So, and then let's see here. The next question is: does your partner prefer paperback or hardcover? I said either for him, but his books are a lot of hardcover, so I think he's more drawn to hardcover. I personally would rather have a paperback. It's easier on my wrist when I'm reading. So, what was your answers?
I said that you prefer paperback, and I do prefer hardcover. I mean, I don't mind if it's paperback, but the hardcover for me is just I like the texture and they tend to have a more booky smell, which I enjoy.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Why you like it? Does your partner reread books often, sometimes, or rarely slash never? I put sometimes for you. I honestly don't know. And for me, I often reread, so I put often for me.
For you, I put yes, like a lot of the time you reread
Yeah.
books. For me, it's pretty much never. I pretty much remember not the fine details, but once I start, as the more I read of a book I've already read, the more it all comes back to me to where by the time I'm halfway done, I remember the whole book. And then
So you don't want to read it. So
yeah.
you get a point there. I don't. Okay, let's see here. Does your partner DNF books or read till the end? He spoiled this one for me. I thought about changing my answer, but I didn't. So for him, I said DNF. And then for me, I used to read till the end, but now I'm really quick to DNF. Like, if I'm not enjoying it, I'm reading so many books nowadays. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm DNFing it right away. So.
And for me, I put yes, you do DNF books if you don't like them. For
do.
me, I'm extremely picky. I won't just randomly grab a book to read. So if I skim it and it looks okay, I'll read it. If it's not quite as good as I expected, I will finish it all the way to the end.
So you get a point and I get nothing. I figured he was going to beat me at this game. Let's see. What is your partner's good read goal for the year? He's not reading a whole lot nowadays and he's not going to make a goal for it. So I put 0. And for me, I just put NA. It's really not applicable. Because I don't really care how much I read. Like, I just want to read. So I don't have a specific goal. But if I had to pick a number, I would say at least 100. So.
For you, I've just put a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Just I don't have a specific number, so I say
and
that.
For me, when I read the question out loud, she's like, "Well, you don't read it all." So I said, "Well, fine. I put for myself, I'll read 1 book per month."
So you're gonna read 12 books this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. So you better pick your January book. So he gets a point. Again, I don't. Let's see. Would your partner rather read 1 book a year and remember everything, or read 100 books and remember nothing? So for him, I put read 1 book and remember everything because he's always going on about how he remembers everything. And for me, I read a lot and I don't always remember it. And that's why I can reread over and over again, because I don't, like, I may remember like the overall like summary of the book, but I'm not gonna remember the details ever. So I put I'd rather read 100 and remember nothing. So
dang. Well, I put that we would each rather remember the book. I mean, you remember some of it. It's not like you don't remember any of the book at all.
Yeah, but for me, I just, as long as I'm enjoying it in the moment, if I don't remember anything, I don't care.
Oh, well, I took the
So,
question as like you have amnesia and not remember a single thing about the book. So,
so, all right. Well, I get a point that time, and you get nothing. But doesn't matter.
dang.
You're beating me. So let's see here. Next, does your partner like silence or sounds while reading? I put you would prefer silence, and I prefer sound.
And I put for you that yes, you need noise, but it has to be like logical noise, like talking or a show, not just like crickets or something.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, it can be quiet. I do like to listen to music, preferably classical, if I'm really
So you
into
would
a book.
prefer, but if it was between that and like other noise, like would
No,
you prefer silence?
yes.
All right, then I'm gonna give myself a point. I need all the help I can get. So, so you like a specific noise, otherwise you rather silence.
Yes.
So, all right, this next one is a multiple part question. If your partner were to write a novel, what would it contain in terms of one genre? So I put fantasy or sci-fi for you, and I put like light fantasy, like for me.
For you, I put like it would have like a heartwarming story.
Yeah, no, I had it would, but it would contain like fantastical elements.
Well,
So
yeah, I didn't know how to summarize that
yeah,
though.
I'll
So,
give that to you for sure.
and I mean, for mine, I just put like good versus evil, positive outcome, um, a semi omnipotent hero. I like those sometimes.
So I would say that would fall under.
Hmm.
I'll give us both a point for that. And then, would it be first person or third person narration? I put third for you, and for me, I put first.
I put first for both of us.
Okay, so you get the point.
Yeah, because the stories I like are mostly protagonists, which are first person usually.
Yeah, and then standalone or series, I put a series for you and a standalone for me.
I put series for both.
So I get a point. Yeah, I don't think I would have it in me to do a series, honestly. So, and then the bonus question, which he's already won, is what fictional character do you see your partner as? So for me, I unless I like had a book in my hands and could compare, like I don't recall, like I can't visualize. So there's only one, and it's because of the movies, not the book, because I've never actually read the book, but I'm going with it, and that's Samwise from Lord of the Rings, Samwise Gamgee, because Samwise was always kind of the voice of reason and really like calming Frodo down and like pushing him. And that's what my husband does for me. Like our very first date, like he did that. Like I have a lot of anxiety, I get really overwhelmed easily, and he's always just kind of talking me through stuff. So that's why I chose that character. And as far as his answer for me, like again, I can't visualize at all. I can't think unless I have something physically that's prompting me. So I just put a neurotic character because I'm very neurotic, and so that's why I put like any character that he chose because it's kind of neurotic. Is my
Yeah, for you, I don't get mad. You said you wouldn't get mad, so
answer.
I put the taming of the shrew, the tamed shrew at the
I
end.
haven't read that one.
Well, you haven't even seen the movie?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, she's very sassy and yelling at him and mean to him.
Yeah.
But at the end, they get along good, and then they like live happily ever after, more or less.
I'll give that to you.
And then for me, I mean, my life's pretty boring, and I'm pretty laid back, but I can get very upset, and I can hold a grudge. So I thought of a lot of stories I read, but probably like Snape from Harry Potter would be more like me because I can hold a grudge. I mean, he fights for the Dark Lord, but he never is fully loyal.
Yeah.
So I can be kind of disloyal, just going the way of the path until it's just like I don't feel like it
I can
anymore.
I can see that. So I
Changing my tune, working behind the scenes, not really the face of the story.
I'll give that to you. I
And
didn't get the point.
and snotty little kids. I mean, I could hold a grudge against someone's kid if their a parent made fun of me and picked on me when I was a kid. I
Right.
could do that.
Okay, I can see that. So you get 14 points and I only got 10. So he wins this round for sure. And so yeah, that was the newly read tag. Thank you for doing it with me. I was trying to figure out a way to do it with him not being on camera, so it made it a lot easier that he decided to come on. And this was so much fun. Thank you, Sid, for creating this tag. Like, it's just a lot of fun. So I am gonna tag a couple of people. They will be linked down below. There's four booktubers. Two sets of friends that they've done stuff before, and then there's one booktuber in particular that I would like to see him do it with his wife. But they'll be linked down below. And yeah, that's it for this tag. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.
Bye.